questo punto stiamo tanto bene io e te, che non ha senso tirar fuori come di perché. Cerchiamo insieme tutto il bello della vita, in un momento che non scappi tra le dita. E dimmi ancora tutto quello che mi aspetto già, che il tempo insiste perché esiste il tempo che verrà.
Hi everyone and welcome to another video. It's me, the Fragrance Enjoyer, and in this video I will be talking about my favorite Clive Christian fragrance as of now, and this is going to be the 150th anniversary edition. Specifically, it's going to be the one called Timeless. Now this is a limited edition release and it's not easy to get your hands on. I believe there are about 10 to 12 people on Parfumo that have this actual scent listed on their collection, but I know for a fact a lot of my friends also have this, but they are just not listing it online. It's not the most easiest fragrance to get, but if you can get your hands on it, I think it might be worth at least trying. That's for sure. So before we get into the fragrance itself, just a quick update about the channel. So I've been away, but I'm back and I hope to make more content on a more regular basis. So in the meantime, if you want to see any particular reviews, let me know. I have just received a sample from the new Parfums de Mali, which I can also review probably a bit quicker than this fragrance. So if you want to see that, let me know. Otherwise, I will be gladly going back to the Roja content as soon as possible, because there's a lot to cover there too. But for this video, as you know, we're talking about the 150th anniversary edition Timeless. Now there are two fragrances from this collection as far as I know. One is called Contemporary and then this one, obviously, it's called Timeless. Now this is a rare example where Clive Christian has actually done well with the marketing. Usually if you look at the collections, I honestly don't have any clue what I'm looking at, from the whole naming conventions to the bottle designs, etc. and the different colors. They don't really appeal to me, to be honest. So I think the green collection, as we see in my previous video from 1872, is probably the most classiest and I guess normal looking bottle design that they have, and I would agree on this one too. So the box is also slightly special. So it comes in a default Clive Christian box, but it has this outer kind of emblem type of deal because it is the anniversary collection, as I said. And so if I open up the box, you will see that this is the inside portion of the box. So this is how every Clive Christian comes in, more or less, depending on the size of the bottle. And if I open it up, you will see the Timeless limited edition sticker, and this is how the bottle fits into the box. Now I like this scent so much, I actually got a second one too. And as you can see on the back of the bottle, it also says Clive Christian limited edition. So I have two of them, so I am probably good to go for a while. Let's get into the notes and the fragrance itself. Now this is a 2022 release by Clive Christian, obviously. Perfume is Juliette Pluchet, apologies for the pronunciation. And this is a fresh, citrusy, spicy, green, woody fragrance, okay? What Clive Christian do with most of their limited edition releases is they essentially take a couple of the fragrances that they've done already and kind of mix them up together and create something new. This is the case with this one as well. What I would advise you to do is go back one video and take a look at my 1872 review, and if that sounds appealing, then you can continue with this one, because the 150th anniversary Timeless contains a little bit of that 1872 vibe, minus the florals, but we'll get into that in a second. First and foremost, let's take a look at the notes. What you're getting with this one is a combination of ginger, lime, mint, bitter orange, coriander, musk, nutmeg, lavender, vetiver, amber, and leather. Now the main difference between this fragrance and 1872 is that this has absolutely no floral component to it. This is a strictly fresh citrus and green fragrance with a touch of spice from the nutmeg and lavender. And what you will get on the bottom is essentially a very dirty, kind of a wet, earthy vetiver combined with leather, and this is where the masculine aspect of this fragrance comes across the most. Now this is also the part that I enjoy the most about this scent. I think the opening is quite decent. It gets that sparkly feel from the ginger combined with the freshness of the mint, and then of course the lime gives that citrusy aspect to it, but then you get the lavender, so you get this aromatic touch to the scent as well, which I really enjoy. And recently I've been wearing lavender and vetiver fragrances the most for some reason, so I guess my tastes are a bit shifting as at this point, but this is also the reason why I enjoy this one a lot. Now in the mid, what you will get is a predominant notes of coriander, again mixed with the mint. It's gonna add a little bit of this spicy kind of a fresh vibe to the whole thing. I'm not getting too much of the musk, although if you leave this on for a couple of hours, it will turn into a vetiver, a leathery, musky fragrance. So I guess that's where the musk comes in the most. I'm not getting too much of the nutmeg, although I can see it adding a little bit of the spiciness at some point. I'm definitely getting the lavender. I love the lavender in this one. It's quite masculine, aromatic, you know, the typical masculine smell that you expect to find. A very timeless scent. As I said, a very rare moment where Clive Christian gets its actual marketing correct, especially with the name Timeless. I think this can be worn in 30 years from now, and you know, could have been worn 30 years ago easily. So, you know, very, very classic masculine smell. But keep in mind, the main distinction of this fragrance compared to the rest of the Clive Christian portfolio will come in the form of the base notes, which is, as I said, vetiver, amber, and leather. The reason why I say this is because the vetiver in this one is not your, let's say, vetiver that you get in Roja, as an example. So if you have tried the vetiver from Roja, it's not that type of vetiver. It's also not the vetiver extraordinaire from Frederick Malle. It's also not the type that you get from Grey Vetiver from Tom Ford. This is kind of a dirty, earthy, kind of a damp vetiver that you're getting from this one, so you have to like that, obviously, if you want to enjoy this fragrance. But then that is coupled with the leather note, which kind of adds this leathery, woody aspect to it and makes it even more masculine. So this fragrance, in my mind, can be thought of as a guy that is essentially having a white shirt and jeans, maybe a jacket on top, and essentially getting into his sports car that has leather seats, right? So it's not leather dominant, but you get this kind of addition of leather in the end for sure, which again just adds a little bit of the manly component to the smell. So I just sprayed the fragrance. It's the opening actually gets me every time. So I have to take back what I said at the beginning of the video. The opening is the killer too. Oh, what a beautiful fuck off. What a beautiful spicy citrus fresh opening. Been a while since I sprayed it actually, so good thing I reminded myself today. So when it comes to the occasions where you can wear this one, obviously outside of your sports car, is pretty much anywhere outdoors. I think this is a beautiful outdoors fragrance because of the green and spicy component to it. It's going to work very well if you're out and about, moving around, you know, going to the city, going to any lounges, etc. So anywhere where you will be experiencing some kind of a breeze, some kind of a wind, this will work perfectly because, or the scent of this composition slash fragrance works particularly well if it's kind of carried by a light breeze, if it's carried by the wind itself, if someone is walking next to you, or if someone gives you a hug and they smell this, the first thing they will think of is A, you smell very clean, very well taken care of, and 2, you smell very masculine. So this is kind of the approach, or actually the vibe that you will be radiating when you wear this fragrance. So outdoors would be my preference when wearing this, because it actually, and this is kind of getting us to the performance aspect of this review, this actually has really good performance, at least on my skin. Now, the fresh part of this fragrance will last a good hour and a half to 2 hours, which is honestly more than you can ask for a fresh citrus spicy fragrance. But the main star and the part that's gonna last the most is the mid and the dry down of the fragrance, well up to 8 to 9 hours, at least on my skin. And this is solely on longevity. If we're talking about projection, this is going to be 2-3 feet easily, maybe 1.5 to 2 arms length. You will be noticed when wearing this fragrance. So I don't really know why they need to essentially release a very limited edition fragrance for the performance to be good. But if you if you compare it to 1872, this doubles the performance of 1872, especially when it comes to the projection aspect. Longevity, maybe not so much. Projection, easily this will completely kill 1872. Bottom line on this fragrance, if you can find it, give it a try. I don't think you will regret trying this one at all, especially if you like fragrances from Clive Christian such as Cypress. So if you can see that, this is the Cypress. Yeah, so I mean, they essentially took a couple of Clive Christian fragrances. So 1872, they took a little bit of Cypress and they mixed that together to create this one, which is great. If you are a Roja collector like myself and you're looking to kind of find an alternative that is potentially a bit easier to find, then check out Goodman's from Roja, right? Obviously that one is also probably getting discontinued as far as I heard from Ramsey, but if you can find that one, I think it might be easier to find than this one for sure. Price should be the same on the gray market. So that was it for the review. Again, this is currently my favorite Clive Christian fragrance that I'm wearing right now. It works perfectly for summer and spring, although I can see it working very good in the fall as well because of the spicy and green aspect to it. So I don't think this is a blind buy worthy fragrance. I think you need to try it. I was lucky enough to try it before buying it. It was an easy call for me, but do not blind buy. It's not a must buy. It's not gonna blow your socks off if you've tried any of the other recommendations that I've given you so far. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for 500 subscribers, and welcome to everyone that is new to the channel. This is kind of the type of content I do, so I try to keep it a bit shorter than usual. I give you my honest opinion about the fragrances that I'm wearing, and that's about it. So if you like what you see, then I would love to catch you at the next one. Until then, have a good one.